All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining once again for another live stream, bringing you the latest in Chelsea transfer news. We're going to have another stellar show lined up for you. And like always, I always want to see what you guys have to say on the latest news that we're going to go through. Lots going on in regards to Joao Felix. There is also quite a bit of talk around Declan Rice once again. He's just not going away. But you know what? I think I might entertain this now. Now that with Enzo Fernandez in the bag, I might actually entertain Declan Rice, who gives us that defensive solidarity. As you can see with West Ham. I know currently West Ham aren't looking that great, but Declan Rice is quite capable of giving us that solid sort of nature in defense, if you know what I mean. And then there's a few bits and pieces on other news. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez is the huge topic, but on this particular episode, we're not going to talk too much about the deal in itself because we've pretty much covered all the latest news in regards to Enzo Fernandez in the past couple of videos that I've uploaded, a live stream and a other pre-recorded video. Pretty much encapsulates everything that you need to know about Enzo Fernandez right now. So for this particular show, we're going to try and capture all the other news that's gone around. I'm still a little bit annoyed about how we're not really linked with a right-sided player, a right back, a right wing back, whatever you may sort of call it on that right side, whether we play 3 at the back, whether we play 4 at the back. I think now we're starting to play 4 at the back more frequently. We'll see whether we continue with that. But a Reece James backup is very much needed. I just hope that our club, they're not ignoring this situation and thinking that maybe we can tackle this in the summer, because Reece James is out for a month and God knows how quick he's going to come back this time around and whether we're going to rush him. Apparently, we rushed him last time around. This is what the fans are saying. So I don't know whether we can just make do with Azpilicueta for the time being. As I said, I would have even tried giving Chalobah a bit of a chance, but I don't know whether Graham Potter really fancies that at all. Ladies and gentlemen, over 120 live right now. Smash the like button, number one. Let's get those likes up to 100 immediately. We're up to 31 likes already. Let's get to 100. I think that's going to be quite easy to achieve that. So let's smash the like button. Number two, if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. We are now chasing 20,000 subscribers. So let's get there quick. First up, what I want to say, look, guys, I know it's not been easy being a Chelsea fan, specifically this particular season. And even if you want to go back to about 12 months ago, for the past 12 months, it's not been easy. We all understand that. One thing I can say, though, I know it's very difficult to get excited about incomings, news like Enzo Fernandez. As exciting as it is, I know it's difficult because of our league position and how we're playing. We are not pretty to watch one bit. But all I'm going to say is, ladies and gentlemen, at least we have owners that are very, very ambitious and owners that seem to care for the football club. Let's be absolutely honest about that. Todd Bowley and Baghdad Iqbali and the Clear Lake Capital Group, they are not sitting back. They are absolutely not sitting back. They're giving it their best shot, and they're doing their level best to make this football club go back to where it once belonged, up in the top echelons. Players like Enzo Fernandez, honestly speaking, ladies and gentlemen, players like Enzo Fernandez, I don't know about you guys, I did not expect this transfer. I seriously did not think we can pull it off in January too. I thought maybe in the summer we could potentially give it a go. But for the owners to show such ambition to go for Enzo Fernandez for 120 plus million, somewhere around 130 million, including add-ons, that's commendable. It really is commendable. Christopher Nkunku, another superstar. Don't forget, we tend to forget about Christopher Nkunku because he's not joining in January. He's joining, for next season. Christopher Nkunku is a very, very supreme talent. He's a huge talent. He's a very, very exciting talent, and one that's going to really help us out in the football club. And I know right now Arsenal Football Club are miles ahead. Man City, obviously, there always seems to be ahead. It's very difficult to catch up on them. But besides those two, I know Newcastle is in a bit of a resurgence. They're showing a lot of class, but I think sooner or later they may hit a bit of a bumpy road. I think their progress, even for them, they'll agree that it's a bit ahead of schedule. Liz, did you check Fabrizio's tweet? Let me have a look. Is it a latest tweet? If it's not a latest tweet, I don't want you guys to break my rhythm of conversation. Let's have a look at what is the latest. 36 minutes ago, Arsenal's second proposal for Mudryk, Arsenal's players' priority. Chelsea will active AFC move collapse. We'll talk about this. Fine, we will talk about this. Let me just get that up. I'm quite excited about Mudryk, but I think he's going to go to Arsenal. I mean, he wants Arsenal. I don't see any reason why he would like to come to us. Chelsea and Benfica will hold new direct talks today for Enzo Fernandez. All right, fine. I'll get that out as well. I mean, as I said, this isn't the latest. Fabrizio seems like he's a little bit behind schedule on this one. Di Marzio, I'm a little bit more inclined to sort of take his word on that. But yeah, of course, obviously, I would love to see Fabrizio Romano give us a here we go, or a David Ornstein a report coming out about Enzo Fernandez would be fantastic. But going back to my point, right now, Man City and Arsenal, they look like they're really ahead of the game. Everything about them is moving very, very smoothly, and it's moving perfectly. Newcastle, as I said, I think even for their standards, like they're overachieving at the moment. I'm pretty certain some parts of their fan base probably feels like that they are overachieving at the moment. I know they're playing some really good football. I know they've recruited well. This success over the last 12 months seems like there's going to be a bumpy road somewhere. Teams like Liverpool got battered by Brentford. Liverpool, they're a particular team at the moment. They seem to be in denial. Liverpool badly needs a reset. And I don't know whether Klopp really wants to stick around. I think he probably does want to stick around, but at the same time, I get the feeling maybe he needs a new challenge. He has been at that football club for a very, very long time, and they always seem to be financially a little bit more restricted. I know they've made some big signings as well, don't get me wrong, but they don't go out like what Chelsea are doing with Todd Bowley, or they don't go out like Man City with Grealish, 100 million. They are somewhat reluctant. And some of their signings in recent times, I don't really know whether they've really worked out, unlike when they used to have Michael Edwards. So I feel like Liverpool are in a situation where right now no one really fears them that much as they used to once upon a time. Since Sadio Mane left, I said it, Klopp is got to find a way to reestablish another team. And so far, I don't think he's been able to do that. They really thought with Darwin Nunez and Luis Diaz and the likes, they're going to be able to find a new team. Again, Ibsy, good to see you, my man. Big up to you as well. Similarly with Spurs. Spurs, honestly, I think they're close to imploding again. Like, I'm pretty certain Antonio Conte is probably in his last days in Spurs club at the moment. I feel like he's fed up. I feel like he probably sort of feels that he's not going to get that level of money that he desires to have the kind of team that he wants. And you can see the results all already going south for Spurs. So Spurs, for me, are ready to implode very, very soon. It's all going to blow up on their face. And as soon as Kane leaves, as soon as Conte gets sacked, and Kane follows suit, there goes Tottenham Hotspurs. Do you know what I mean? So you've got Liverpool, who I feel like they need a reset, but they're in denial. You've got Spurs, who are about to implode. And then you've got Man United, who are still settling in with Eric Ten Hag. I know they've been playing some okay-ish football in recent times, and they look like they're progressing, but that project is still at its baby stages. So looking at all of that, we are a club that we're not in denial. We know we need to restart. We know we need to develop a form of football, or develop patience as well within the club and the fan base, in order to get prolonged success down the track. We're not in denial. We know our club is screwed at the moment. Our owners know it as well. We know it as well. Some of the players probably don't want to stick around either. But the best part about our situation at the moment is we've already got the wheels turning. Yes, we're going to suffer. There is no doubt about that. We will suffer. But at least we're in the process of understanding what needs to happen, which players need to come through. We're even investing on future players as well. And it's just a matter of, hopefully, Graham Potter can slowly start turning this around. And if Graham Potter doesn't turn it around, I'm pretty certain the new owners will chop him. It may not happen this season. I think this season is a bit of a write-off. So this season, let's not hope too much. Besides the fact that maybe we can get some level of progress in our footballing style, in our philosophy. Hopefully, with the new recruits that will come in January, hopefully we can develop some form of football that can bring 3 points, basically. But we are so far away from the hunting pack at the moment. I'm not hoping for too much, and I don't think our owners are going to make a snapshot decision if Graham Potter misses out on top 4, unless it turns out to be something really drastic where we end up coming 10th, 11th, or in the bottom half of the table. Unless that happens, I don't think Graham Potter is going to get the sack. I think he's got the backing of the owners. So basically what I'm trying to say is that hopefully Potter turns this around for us. Some form of good footballing style throughout this season, and then from next season really start banging on the door against the top clubs in the Premier League. So hopefully by then, ladies and gentlemen, Spurs, Liverpool, and even Man United, hopefully we can just go well ahead of them. And then it's really Man City, Arsenal, and I'm throwing Newcastle out there. Maybe we can even go beyond Newcastle, because I feel like with Newcastle, it's just a bit too early, their progress at the moment. Unless we see some sort of progress happening from them in the January and also the summer transfer window. We'll see what happens. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, ladies and gentlemen, let's stay patient. Hopefully things will turn around. Valan, thank you so much for the super chat. As much as I feel Potter is currently inadequate, I'm going to painstakingly give him the time and not be Potter out. I'll be fair and give him a year. Beautiful. This is exactly what we need to see. Some people are saying City 5, Chelsea 0. It may very well be that. But I'm already expecting a loss against City. I'm hoping we can put up a fight, but I'm actually not so confident against City. But for me, I've set my expectations, which is, I don't think we're going to make top 4. Hopefully we can make somewhere in the top 6 and play some good football. That is the best. That is the utmost thing that I'm looking for. Please check Adam Newson's tweet. Okay, let's check Adam Newson's tweet, and then we'll get to our transfer show. Let's see what Mr. Adam Newson is saying. I have some good news for you all. It's my day off today. He always does this on his day off. He seems to have some good news. Okay, fair enough. That's nice. Okay, first up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this particular news. Chelsea are reluctant to meet Atletico Madrid's demands to pay a 10 million loan fee to sign forward Joao Felix. The 23-year-old is highly regarded by Premier League clubs, but that fee, along with his 250,000 a week wages, have made him less desirable. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you guys. I can't totally trust some of our attackers. I really cannot. I really cannot trust some of our attackers, whether it be besides Sterling. And even Sterling is not really giving me too much comfort in recent times. I'm expecting a lot more from Sterling, but it seems like he's just fallen into the trap of our syndrome of attackers disintegrating as soon as they come to Chelsea Football Club. I was expecting Sterling to take on his man a lot more, but I'm hoping with the inclusion of Enzo Fernandez, and I'm hoping maybe a couple of more other signings that we can, I hope we can make in January, will turn things around. But in the likes of Christian Pulisic, in the likes of Ziyech, even Aubameyang, I'm not totally confident anymore with these guys, man. I mean, as much as I love Ziyech, for some reason, it just doesn't work out with Chelsea Football Club, man. Whether the way we set up and maybe it's just a bit detrimental for the attackers, I don't know. But I'm happy to move on from these particular players and bring in fresh faces and bring in players that just gives us a little bit more. Honestly, even with this news, how Chelsea are reluctant, I would go out there and do this. I honestly would. I would honestly just go out there and get that 10 million loan fee done. And yeah, the wages is hefty, 250k a week wages. Maybe we can try and negotiate with Atletico Madrid what we can do about that. But for 6 months, 10 million, if we can get rid of one of our current attackers, whether it's Ziyech, whether it's Pulisic, I've got no issues with that. And bring in someone like Joao Felix, who is going to be a creator and at the same time a goal scorer as well. And the likes of Enzo, the likes of Joao Felix, all of these players, the technical players who are going to be very good in tight spaces as well. And they're going to be progressive. They're going to be looking to attack the opposition consistently. These are the kind of players that I want, man. These are the kind of players that I want at Chelsea Football Club. And to be honest, what can go so detrimentally wrong? Do you know what I mean? What can be so detrimental bringing in a player for a 6-month loan? A 23-year-old Joao Felix, Portugal international, who's had a very, very good World Cup as well. And we've seen, even in the Atletico Madrid shirt, how well he can be. I think last weekend he ended up scoring one of the goals as well. I think it was him and Morata that scored. They ended up winning 2-0. I'm pretty certain, and Joao Felix scored. So, look, I would like a player like Joao Felix. Get rid of one of the players. Because, as I said, I'm not too confident with some of our attackers, man. I really am not. I'm not too confident. I just feel like technically they lack. And from an attacking perspective, they don't seem to have that bravery to take the opposition on, man. And that really annoys me. For him, Felix from Atletico for the past few years hasn't been that good. Yeah, he hasn't. But then there's been bits and pieces where he's been very, very good as well. Overall, there's a player there, man. For him, there is a player there. Like you've seen his quality. It's just a matter of how can a manager now get the consistency out of that. Like you've seen there is a top quality player there with attacking attributes that are fantastic. Do you know what I mean? So I'm banking on a particular manager to get a hold of him and really be able to manage him to be very consistent. Diego Simeone, for some reason or the other, it just fell out with Joao Felix. Shubra saying 10 million and 250k wage just for 6-month loan. It's not too feasible for me, but Felix is quality. I cannot lie. I hear you. It is hefty. It is very hefty. But for me, he changes our attack, much like how Enzo transforms our midfield. Joao Felix changes our attack. I'm all up for Joao Felix, to be honest. Felix is too lightweight, Miz. He will get bullied, Miz. Trust me. See, Why, man? Like he's played in Benfica. Benfica, they're not mugs, man. Do you know what I mean? Have a look at the Portuguese league. It's not. They play rough football over there. He's trained under Diego Simeone and then known for rough football. Why do we think he's going to be physically bullied? Why do we think he's lightweight? Why can't we think that he can cut it? Why can players like Sterling and whoever else seem to cut it at the Premier League, but then when it comes to Felix or anyone else, oh, he's going to get bullied? Why? Oba's saying he gets bullied in La Liga. Okay, well, I don't know. I've from the bits and pieces that I've seen of Joao Felix, I think he's quite capable of holding his own. And yeah, man. I mean, what level of attacker would you want? Are you happy with whoever we have at the moment? Our current attackers get bullied, man. Have a look at the way Sterling got treated against Nottingham Forest. Have a look at the way Pulisic got treated. Have a look at how our attackers have been treated over the last 12 months. Do you know what I mean? Like, who do you guys want? Do you guys want to just keep who we already have? Just keep what we got and just roll with it. Fahim is saying, I want Rafael. You ain't getting that for him, mate. You are not getting that. It's great that you want him, but you're not getting him. There's been a report from Di Marzio saying that he's possibly going to sign a contract extension with AC Milan because he's seen that Chelsea's gone for Enzo Fernandez and he's worried that Chelsea's going to, if they're going to have enough money to sign him. Rafael was never going to happen in January anyway. Rafael was meant to be a summer signing. Who can we bring in now? This is the question. This is why I need you guys to think about this a little bit more. Who can we bring in January to help us out in attack? Unless you guys are extremely okay with whatever we have right now. Me personally, I'm not happy with what I got right now. I don't have confidence in them. Do you know what I mean? He's very strong on the ball. Watch him well. It's true he always gets bullied at La Liga. Okay, fair enough. Havertz is a giant and he gets consistently bullied. Size does not mean much. That's the thing. How many seasons has Havertz been in the Premier League and he still gets bullied? Valan is saying, I want to see Hutchinson before I decide on a winger. Yeah, look, if it's not Joao Felix, and I've been saying it, let's just get Omari Hutchinson a good go. Let's not persist with Pulisic or Ziyech or even Mount up front or even Havertz. Let's give Omari Hutchinson a proper opportunity. I'm all down for that. I can live without Joao Felix. I've got no issues. As long as let's give something new a chance because the current mob ain't cutting it. It simply ain't cutting it. Because do you prefer an animated, passionate manager or a quiet and easily pleased manager? Look, I prefer a manager that knows what they're doing. I prefer a manager that tactically can outmaneuver the opposition. I prefer a manager that is aware of what is going during a game and can make proactive decision. Yes, I want an animated manager. Yes, I love personalities. I like charisma, but I like 3 points. I want a manager that is capable of getting 3 points. That's what I want. I want results. You get me results, I don't really care what you're saying in the press conference. But if you don't get me results and you still talking the way you are in the press conference, then obviously that's going to annoy me. So that's where I am with that. What we got right now is not all that good, but I prefer Rafael if we only have funds. If only we have funds. I'm telling you, Rafael is not happening. It's not happening right now. You can ask for it, but he's not happening. Yeah, the Napoli winger is good too and cheaper than Leao. Yeah, Kavicha, I think you're talking about. Kavicha would be fantastic, but we're not linked with any of these Napoli players. I'm only going with what we're linked with, so we're not linked with that. Lol, do you see Ancelotti animated on the touchline? But he's the best. Exactly. As much as I'd like, an animated manager. Well, for me, 3 points is much important. 3 points is much important. Means how does Joao fit Potter's system, and who would he play best with? I think Joao Felix could play, if we want to persist with Havertz being up front, I think Joao Felix could play potentially just behind Havertz as a second striker, or even someone playing from the left, and Raheem Sterling continues on the right. That's how I picture Joao Felix in this particular system under Graham Potter. Some people are saying Trossard. Trossard would be fantastic. I would take Trossard. I'm not even going to lie. But those links, I don't know what's going on. It seems to have disappeared. A lot of people get annoyed with getting more players from Brighton. So that's something to think about as well. Me personally, I couldn't care less. I'm happy to take all Brighton's good players. Caicedo, Trossard, McAllister, Robert Sanchez. I'm happy to take them all. I'm not one of those fans that are going to sit here and go, oh, well, we're turning into Brighton FC. I really don't care. I really don't care. They're good, so let's take them. Someone saying, Miz, what about Tony? Have you not seen what Tony's betting scandals looking like? 262 cases on him. Let's be realistic on some of these players. Aton, thank you so much for the generous super chat, my man. Thank you, Miz, as always, for the content. Yes, I've accepted it. We're not a good team at the moment, but we've always been underdogs. It's nothing new. We'll rise again. Felix is good for a loan, and if he does well, we can buy him. That's exactly how I feel, man. And I'm patient as well. G11W, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello, Miz. What happened to the Zakarian deal? Yeah, very good question. I thought this was happening in January, and I hope it still is happening in January. But there seems to be complications with his deal because of his Russian background and whatnot. But look, I would definitely prefer to get someone like Zakarian in. I don't know whether he comes into the first team immediately, but someone who we can develop and potentially he could be our version of KDB down the track. I'd definitely be up for someone like Zakarian. I think I expected him in January, but look, that whole Russian background situation seems to be a bit of an issue, but they're trying to do something, trying to get him through Armenia, get him to be a citizen of Armenia and then make him come over to Chelsea Football Club, and we pay the money to an Armenian bank, but we'll see what happens. There's this English winger playing for Leverkusen, promising prospect called Odoi, I believe. To be honest, I'm past Callum Hudson-Odoi. I really am. He has to have an absolute stellar second half of this season for me to even think about anything about him coming back to Chelsea Football Club. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Declan Rice remains a priority for Chelsea. UCL football is by no means guaranteed for Chelsea next season, but Rice is looking at the bigger picture. Rice would ideally prefer a London move, but it won't be a deal breaker factor in the final decision. This is from Ben Jacobs. Ben Jacobs, along with many other sort of English background reporters out there, consistently talking about Declan Rice. But you know what? Now that hopefully everything, as what the report's saying, that Enzo Fernandez is done, I'm not too perturbed by having Declan Rice next to an Enzo Fernandez. I was worried about us getting only Declan Rice because I'm thinking, how's this brother going to play out from the back? How's he going to show for the ball often enough? Because I've seen him, he tends to not show up for the ball often enough. But with an Enzo Fernandez and a Declan Rice, I think potentially that could work. Really, that could work. Enzo is very good on the ball, and also, it's not like without the ball he's got a lot of flaws like Jorginho. No, he can definitely hold his own, and physically he can definitely hold his own. Declan Rice, we know if it's anything to do with physicality, he's up for it. He's got that recovery pace. He can cover ground, and yeah, his ball playing ability, when you have someone like Enzo, shouldn't need to be relied upon too much, and he can concentrate on being that destroyer and making sure he's protecting the defenders and covering for space whenever there is a counter attack, and allowing for Enzo Fernandez to move forward a little bit more without being worried. But once again, Declan Rice is not someone I don't think we're going to get in January. Now that we've splashed out all that money for Enzo Fernandez, I don't think we're going to splash that money for Declan Rice. But who knows? Maybe if West Ham gets relegated, I really hope West Ham gets relegated, then we can perhaps get Declan Rice for even cheaper money than what he's touted to be. I think he's touted to be about somewhere around £80 million. Maybe we can get him for less. Maybe we can get him for about 70 million, 65 to 70 million. At the end of this particular season. I think there'll be 2 more years left in his contract. So, this slowly becomes in our favor, I suppose. But honestly speaking, I would not be against this one bit anymore. Let's have a look at the next bit of talk that's going on. Rice should try to come as a free transfer. Well, that's going to take a bit of time. I think it's going to take at least another 2 more season for him to be free. I don't mind who we get. I like them both. Yeah, with Enzo, I'm actually okay with having Declan Rice. I'm actually not too fussed about it. Rice is not expensive anymore. 80 million max. Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm absolutely down for it. Chelsea will be active in January. Midfield is key priority, both in terms of bringing in reinforcements and renewing N'Golo Kante's contract. Along with Enzo Fernandez, multiple sources tell me Moises Caicedo is very much on Chelsea's radar in 2023. This is once again from Ben Jacobs. Now, this is where I don't understand. We want to renew N'Golo Kante. We're also getting Enzo Fernandez, but we're still very much interested in Declan Rice. But at the same time, we also want Moises Caicedo. This is where I feel like Ben Jacobs, he's just throwing names out there. He really is. If you logically think about it, Enzo Fernandez, for me, he takes up a lot of the funds. I feel like he takes up a lot of the budget. His fee is hefty. It's a hefty fee. Yes, it's in installments, but it's still a hefty fee. This is why we are renewing contracts like N'Golo Kante, because I feel like our owners don't want to now go out and spend more in midfield. They want to make do with what we have. Don't be surprised if we end up renewing Jorginho as well. It may be Kovacic, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, Enzo Fernandez. And then don't forget, there's Chukwuemeka, Casadei, those players to come through. I don't know what's going to happen with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek probably needs to move on. Don't forget, Mason Mount is part of the midfield as well. So I'm not really sure whether we're really going to spend more money on Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo anymore. I feel like this is where, I don't really trust too much on what Ben Jacobs is saying, because it just doesn't make sense to me. It does, unless we get rid of N'Golo Kante, we get rid of Jorginho, I can't see how we bring in more new faces. I think Enzo Fernandez is a huge player to get in, and then we're going to make do with what we already have, man, honestly. I know some of you guys may not appreciate getting Jorginho's contract done. I feel like we may just renew it. Ben Jacobs is not that reliable for transfer-related stuff, in my opinion, when it's the last time he broke some news. All have been known things. You're right. He's just been throwing names. Seriously, have a look at this one about Declan Rice, and then he throws this about Moises Caicedo. He also states that N'Golo Kante's contract is also being negotiated, and we're getting Enzo Fernandez. It's just a bit too much, man. It's just a bit too much. Unless I see some outgoings, I can't really see how we get Rice and Caicedo and all of these players. Rice potentially for summer, we'll still see what happens, because next summer some more players could potentially leave. So we'll see what happens from that perspective. Graham Potter met with Batat Ekbali during the World Cup and left even more confident Chelsea's owners aren't going to react to his poor run of form. January is key month for Potter though, but internally at the club, I'm told things are still pretty much calm. Now, this news from Ben Jacobs, I trust. When it comes to ownership conversations, when it comes to internal news from the ownership, I think he's got some sort of connections with them, and he has someone internal from an ownership point of view. That's where I trust his conversation. And as I said, I don't expect Graham Potter to be sacked. I don't expect Graham Potter to leave unless something drastic happens, as I said, unless something totally drastic happens where we're less than 10th. Do you know what I mean? We're 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Unless something drastic happens, I can't see this actually changing. And I'm okay with that. I'm willing to give Graham Potter his chance. I really am. I've seen what he was able to do in Brighton. For me, as I said, 3 points most important. Yes, I would love to see some form of a charismatic manager, someone who has that bit of eccentric nature towards them, someone who gives the opposition a little bit of a kick, just by listening and hearing him. But for me, most importantly, let's just get 3 points. That's where I want to start off with. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, before we do that, let's take a couple of your comments. Miss, why can't we get Leao? He's going to be 100 plus million, and we can sell Ziyech and Pulisic for money. Also, we are willing to pay 50 to 60 million for Mokoko. So why do we have? So we do have the money. No, look, we can get Leao. We can. Our owners have been trying to get Leao, but the issue with that situation is Leao at the moment for AC Milan, much like Enzo Fernandez, is a huge player. Rafael Leao doesn't have a release clause. With Enzo, it was a bit different. He's got the release clause. If there was no release clause, I don't think Benfica sells. Well, Benfica then, doesn't worry. Because there is the release clause, Benfica the power is taken away from them. This is not the same case with AC Milan. AC Milan are in the second round of the Champions League. Rafael Leao is a huge player. There is no release clause. AC Milan don't want to sell. AC Milan want to sign, get him to sign a contract extension. It would need something ridiculous. You would need to spend another 120 million plus to get Rafael Leao in January. And only then I think someone like AC Milan would probably budge. But I don't think FFP, man, like how are we meant to get two players worth 120 million plus in January transfer window? It's just not feasible. It really isn't. This is what I was saying. I think it's more of a summer thing. But now, if he ends up signing a contract extension with AC Milan, I don't think it's even going to happen. But this is in regards to Mudryk, ladies and gentlemen. Arsenal's second proposal for Mykhailo Mudryk is close to 50 million euros fixed fee plus add-ons. Shakhtar expected to make a decision. The club are in direct contact. Personal terms never been an issue. Arsenal is the player's priority. Chelsea will act if Arsenal move collapses. Look, I really can't see this happening. I like, once again, I love our ambition. I love what the owners are thinking here. This guy, Mudryk, I've been seeing some of his clips lately. This guy is unbelievable. How Arsenal Football Club have been able to get themselves linked with this player so deeply, it's scary, because he will make Arsenal even better. He really would. This guy is top-notch winger. If there is a chance of somehow this deal collapsing with Arsenal, and if we can swoop in and take him, that would be a masterstroke. That really would be a masterstroke from Todd Bowley and our ownership group. But honestly, I can't see this happening. This brother has only wanted Arsenal Football Club. He's only ever wanted Arsenal Football Club. He's dying for Arsenal Football Club. He watches them on a regular basis. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think this is really feasible. I think he'll wait around for Arsenal. If it doesn't happen in the January, I think he'll wait around in the summer to make it happen. Valen, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm more excited who we go for if Leao fails. I'm very much interested to see exactly what happens with the Leao situation. Now sort of drifting away. Who do we go for next? So yeah, definitely interested. Mudryk or Martinelli, whom do you prefer? Wow. Right now for me, Martinelli, man, he's the best left winger in the Premier League at the moment, hands down. There's no doubts about that. Last but not least, a few people, this is the latest in regards to Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea and Benfica will hold new direct talks today for Enzo Fernandez. The deal is advanced as reported last week, but Rui Costa's final approval is still pending as key steps to get it done. Enzo has agreed terms with Chelsea last Wednesday. He wants to move. Look, have a look at some of the latest stuff. In my previous videos, there was a live stream for about 15 minutes. There was another video before that as well, just about 15 minutes. Check those two out. That's the latest in regards to Enzo Fernandez. I'm very hopeful that this is done. Enzo deal is done. I'm very, very hopeful about it. Apparently, it's going to be done over 3 installments for 120 million plus 10 million in add-ons. And don't forget, River Plate will get a very big portion of this money as well, about 37 or 38 million euros. So River Plate will be pushing for this move just as much. They'll probably be, knocking on Benfica's door and saying, "Hey, get this moving, because we're going to be getting 37.5 million or 38 million, whatever the case is, which is going to go a long way for River Plate as well." So there's a lot of incentives for other people in this particular matter for Enzo Fernandez. So I think it's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us till the end of our show. I'm just going to take a couple of more comments. Miz, 2 seasons ago, Basuma was the same, fully twerking for Arsenal, but then it didn't happen and he went to Tottenham. Look, if we get Mudryk, I'm going to be very excited. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to be very, very excited. I'm just, I don't want to set myself up in a situation where, we're getting Mudryk. I don't think so. I think Mudryk, Arsenal will end up getting this guy. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. Over 300 people. We've got over 100 likes, which is fantastic. Let's keep pumping up the likes. Let me know, whoever has joined just recently, please check out the whole video from the beginning if you want, and comment below on everything that we've talked about this particular on this particular show today, all the different topics that we've talked about. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya. I'll catch you guys later in UK time, roughly around 7:30ish UK time, just before all the game starts. I'll catch you guys with another video. Take care and see ya.